In this video, I will tell the shocking and mysterious story of Walt Disney and the creation of his empire that we all know today. You will learn how he started with a small studio where employees often worked for food, and how one mystical encounter changed everything. Is it true that the success of Snow White was due to the curse of the antique mirror that Walt bought at auction? But this is only the beginning. I'll tell you why many Disney employees still call him the man without a shadow. Is there a connection between the creation of Disneyland and the mysterious disappearance of several people who worked on the project? Plus, you'll learn about the secret tunnels beneath the park that were rumored to be used for mysterious rituals, and whether it's true that Disney created its own mini-state where its rules were more important than the laws of the United States. The biggest scandal is the rumor that Disney stored his brain in a cryo chamber to come back in the future and revive the company. This video will not leave you indifferent. All the truth and myths about the man who changed the world forever. Walt Disney himself voiced Mickey Mouse for the first 20 years. It was not just a character, but a symbol of his own struggle for success. At first, the cartoon Steamboat Willie was rejected by all film studios, but when it was released, it became a revolution in the world of animation. Disneyland Dungeon. There is a network of tunnels under Disneyland that are used by staff to move between parts of the park. Rumor has it that these tunnels also have secret rooms for experiments and meetings, but the company denies this. Walt Disney's freeze. There is a legend that after the death of Walt Disney, his body was frozen in a cryo chamber. He was actually cremated, but the story still inspires myths about his future return. The incident with Snow White. Disney mortgaged his house to finance Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Everyone thought that the project would fail, but it became the first full-length animated film that collected more than $8 million at the box office. Walt and the presidency. Walt Disney never served in the military, but received the rank of honorary colonel for his contributions to propaganda during World War II. His studio created cartoons to raise morale. Blacklist of employees. In the 1940s, Disney fired many employees suspected of communist sympathies. This created tension in the studio, but Walt believed that he was acting for the good of the company. Epcot Secret Park. Epcot was originally planned as a utopian city of the future where people could live and work. After Disney's death, the idea was turned into a theme park, but the original concept is still impressive today. Cartoons and politics. Walt Disney actively used his cartoons for political agitation. For example, during World War II, Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck appeared in propaganda videos. Disney and technology. Disney has always been an innovator. Its studio was the first to use the technology of synchronized sound in cartoons, and was also the first to release animation in the Technicolor format. Forbidden Park Disneyland 2. Rumor has it that Disney planned to build a second park in the Canadian forests, but the project was shut down due to protests from local residents and activists. Revolt of Workers in 1941. During the creation of the cartoon Fantasia, Disney was hit by a large-scale crisis. Studio employees went on strike due to low wages and poor working conditions. This was a big blow to Walt, but he used the crisis to improve the studio. The disturbing story, The Hunt for Bambi. In 1942, the cartoon Bambi had scenes that caused controversy, including the death of Bambi's mother. It was one of Disney's first works to receive criticism for its emotional weight and impact on children. A talented but strict manager, Disney was known for being demanding. His employees were often afraid to criticize ideas because Walt expected perfection, but it was because of his strictness that the studio created cult films. Disney and the Masonic Club. There are rumors that Disney was associated with Masonic lodges. Some of the symbols in its parks, such as Disney's Great Clock, resemble Masonic signs, which has given rise to many myths. Mystic Castle in Disneyland. Sleeping Beauty Castle has become a symbol of Disneyland, but there is a version that its design was inspired by mysterious structures in Bavaria, which are rumored to have a connection with occult traditions. The first Mickey Mouse was angry. The first concept of Mickey Mouse looked dark and even sinister, but Disney decided to make it fun so that the character would appeal to a wider audience. Disney is against alcohol. In Disneyland for a long time, it was forbidden to sell alcohol because Walt wanted this place to remain a childhood holiday. Only after his death were the restrictions gradually lifted. Shadow of competition with Warner Brothers, Disney was in constant competition with Warner Bros., which created iconic characters like Bugs Bunny. Rumor has it that Disney even hired spies to learn about competitors' plans. Disney and its fears. Walt was terrified of mice in real life, which is ironic considering his biggest success was Mickey Mouse. However, he turned his fear into a source of inspiration. Disney and the Red List of Hollywood. Walt Disney was an active participant in the anti-communist movement in Hollywood and supported the Red List, which banned people with communist views from working. This created many conflicts in his environment. Disney and the creation of Oscar for the Snowman. After the success of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Walt Disney received a special Oscar award, 1 large statuette and 7 small ones. This gesture became a symbol of how much his work changed the film industry. Drawing of Mickey Mouse in World War II. During the war, American pilots often painted Mickey Mouse on their planes as a symbol of good luck. Walt supported this by allowing the character to be used for military purposes for free. Prohibited scenes in Fantasia. Fantasia was considered too frank for its time. Some scenes with half-naked characters had to be cut after protests, although Disney stood by the concept. Dream Park was originally in California. Disney wanted to build his first park in Burbank, but local residents opposed it, and he had to move the project to Anaheim. This decision was key to Disneyland's success. Cartoons in schools. Disney collaborated with the U.S. Department of Education to create educational cartoons for children. His works taught hygiene, literacy, and even helped to understand mathematics. Mickey Mouse became a symbol of struggle. During the Great Depression, Mickey Mouse became a symbol of hope for many Americans. His kind and optimistic nature reminded us that even in difficult times it is possible to smile. Disney and the secret language of the park. Disneyland staff use a special code to communicate so as not to disrupt the magic for guests. For example, Code V means someone is not feeling well, and White Powder Alert indicates spilled food. Loss of rights to Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Before Mickey Mouse, Disney created Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, but lost the rights to him due to contract disputes. This forced him to create a new character, Mickey Mouse. Development of robots for attractions. Disney was the first to use animatronics in the parks. Robots for rides, like the pirates from Pirates of the Caribbean, were impressive in their realism and revolutionary for their time. Disney as a master of manipulation. Disney was a brilliant marketer. He created a scarcity of his films by releasing them in limited editions on video or in cinemas to increase demand. This is the strategy that the company still uses. Disney and mysterious messages in cartoons. In many Disney cartoons, fans have found hidden symbols. For example, the Mickey Mouse logo can be seen in scenes from The Lion King and The Little Mermaid. This became part of the legends about the secret code of Disney. Disneyland in Space project. Before his death, Disney dreamed of creating a park on the moon. He even developed early concepts for such a project, but due to technological limitations, the idea was shelved. Disney and the control of actors' dialogues. Disney was so demanding that they made the voice actors repeat the same line dozens of times until it sounded perfect. His perfectionism was legendary. Disneyland initially failed. The first day of the opening of Disneyland was considered a disaster. The asphalt melted due to the heat, the attractions broke, and the water ran out. But after a few months, the park became incredibly popular. Walt Disney and spy missions. During World War II, Disney cooperated with the U.S. government. There are rumors that he performed not only propaganda tasks, but also secret missions, although there is no evidence of this. Ghosts in Disneyland. There are many rumors that Disneyland is haunted. The most famous story concerns a boy whose ashes were scattered in the park. He was allegedly seen on some rides. Forbidden words in Disneyland. At Disneyland, the staff never says, "I don't know." If the employee does not have an answer, they should refer the guest to someone who can help. This creates the illusion that everything in the park is perfect. A secret room in Sleeping Beauty's castle. There is a hidden room in the castle at Disneyland that only VIP guests have access to. This is an exclusive place created for the company's most important customers. the movie that nearly destroyed the studio. During the creation of Pinocchio, the studio suffered huge financial losses. Walt pledged everything he could to complete the project. The film failed at the box office, but eventually became a cult. Secret Club at Disneyland. In the park, there is a closed Club 33, which only the rich and famous have access to. Membership costs tens of thousands of dollars, and the list of those willing to get there stretches for years.